Next item that we have coming up for you, pre-sale on the latest, greatest, brand new gold buffalo here for you, ladies and gentlemen. It is in the flag frame holder. It is in a first day of issue, and it is in perfect 70. Now, I know for those of you that have been watching the jewelry shows and things like that, you've been seeing a lot of gold nuggets auctioning off, right? Gold nuggets are weighed in grams and carats. They have it in grams and carats. So I put grams. 31.1 grams is 1 troy ounce, because in gold buffaloes we talk in troy ounces. So 31.1 grams on the gold buffalo. Now, anyone that was watching the show, what was the last gold nugget that we had that auctioned off that was similar to this weight? Donna's looking it up for me. Oh, made it into a pendant. Now, keep in mind, when you see the gold nuggets, you've seen 22 karat and 23 karat gold. The Australian are 23. Gold does not come from Mother Nature 24 karat pure, because it's not pure. It's going to have some impurities in it. To be 24 karat pure, the impurities must be taken out. This is 24 karat pure. The gold buffalo was the very first 24 karat pure gold coin ever struck by the U.S. Mint. It was first struck in 2006. And yes, ma'am. Okay, so was that auction? Out the door? Okay, so the closest comparable, Donna remembered one, so she looked it up for me, was a 23 karat gold Australian nugget, right? 33.6 grams, 2,900 out the door. Okay, well, this is 24 karat gold, right? So it's higher purity. It's also got numismatic value because it's a mint state 70, limited edition in the flag frame holder. Right now, I am being told by PCGS that they are only planning on doing 25 of these, maximum 50 in this holder. Right now, they're planning on only doing 25, but if, they need, because 25 is a very low number. They said they won't do any more than 50, though, so they might end up doing like 28. They may end up doing 30. So the number is going to be between 25 and 50. No more than 50, no less than 25. So since it has numismatic value, low population, first day of issue, $2,900, apples to apples. That gold nugget, it weighed a little more. It was 33 grams, went for $2,900 out the door. This is a gold coin that weighs 31 grams, but it's certified mint state 70, first day of issue with a limited edition, $2,900. Would that be a fair price, right? That to me, that would be apples to apples, right? Maybe like a red apple to a green apple, but still an apple. Because gold is gold, right? Gold is gold, no matter which way you slice it and dice it. You want to go sell it, doesn't matter if it's in nugget form, doesn't matter if it's in coin form, doesn't matter if it's in jewelry form. It does matter if the jewelry is like 10 karat gold or 14 karat gold. The purity does matter, but gold is gold when it boils down to it. Whichever means that you want to acquire it. I'm going to give you the best introductory deal, the best introductory bargain that you're going to see on the gold buffaloes. I'm going to give you the best deal that we've done on gold here on AAC TV. You're going to get the most gold for your buck right here, right now. It's not going to be $2,900 like you'd see on a gold nugget or a gold chain or a heavy gold ring or a gold bracelet or anything like that. You're going to get it in first day of issue. Mint state 70. Anywhere population of 25 to 50 coins, no less than 25, no more than 50 total coins, $1,649.97. Now, as gold prices have been climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, this price is today only. This is the first time that I have offered out the gold buffalo as the pre-sale, the gold buffalo as the offering. First time it has been offered out, $1649.97 right here, right now. These are expected to be first week of February, so about a month out. So that's why we waited on the gold buffaloes. I've had people calling me for the past 2.5, 3 weeks saying, are you offering out gold buffaloes? And I said, they'll be coming. The buffaloes will be a-coming, but I had to wait until this time because it's beginning of February. So it's about a month out. Beginning of February is going to be. So again, that is when I expect to have them shipped out, is beginning of February. This is a new release. And again, as prices can fluctuate up and down with the market, this is the time to lock in. This is the time to secure. This is the time to get in right here, right now for you. Cannot go wrong at the $1649.97 price, honoring it out at the, again, crazy low offering here on the show. 2019 Gold Buffalo, brand spanking new, rock bottom price, introductory price, best gold deal that has been offered out on the show. Perfect 70 in first day of issue. And we saw how low the numbers were on 2018 Buffaloes, on 2018 Buffaloes. Same trend happens. You're going to have a big coin as well that you can have in your hands. But right now, you've got to get it. You've got to acquire it. You've got to lock in to take advantage right here, right now. You've got to lock in while you can. Because again, the prices negotiate from day to day, especially when I'm working on margins like this. If we were at $2,900, I wouldn't have to worry about the price. I'd say, yeah, guys, anybody calls in for gold buffaloes, you can sell them all day long, $2,900. But when I take it down to this low of a price, I mean, we're talking every little dollar counts. So with that being said, again, the price you see today may not be the price next week. And gold, I mean, what not better than offering out and getting in on a gold buffalo? The brand new 2019. And gold, as it's continuing to rise and rise and rise, is a solid one to get in on. Again, you have the highest numerical grade, a 70. You also have the highest designation for the time frame of getting the coin graded in a first day of issue. And gold has been respected throughout the world for its value and rich history. It's been interwoven into cultures for thousands of years. Coins containing gold appeared around 800 BC, and the first pure gold coins were actually struck during the reign of King Croesus of the Lydian Empire around 300 years later. And throughout centuries, people have continued to hold gold for many reasons. One reason, unlike, paper investments or other assets like stocks and bonds, real estate, gold has actually maintained its value throughout the ages. People have seen gold as a way to pass on and preserve their wealth from one generation to the next. I don't want to say his name, but we had a movie star that I've watched numerous of his movies, and I actually had to ask him with one of the directors of the movie how he was like to work with. But we had a pretty big movie star that would buy coins and gold nuggets and things like that. And he was just, buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gold. And, I talked to him on the phone and I'd say, so, what's up with all of a sudden just buying all the gold out of nowhere, And he just said, he goes, I'm buying it to give to my kids. He goes, this is what I'm passing down. Rather than them getting the money and things like that, I'm passing down the gold to them. I'm buying up gold. So, he goes, I'm getting about that age that, I'm going to pass down gold to my kids. And I went, well, it's a wise move then. Because people see gold as a way to pass on and preserve their wealth from one generation to the next. Now, it's not the smart thing to do to go, all in on one, It's not like take every single penny you have and turn it into gold, but you want to take a percentage of your wealth and turn that into gold. Typically, people say you should have at least 10% of what you have in cash in gold, at least 10% in gold. And although the US dollar is one of the most important reserve currency, when the value of the dollar falls against other currencies, which happened around 2008, this prompts people to flock to the security of gold, which raises gold prices. If you look between like 2000 and probably like 5 to 2008, gold nearly tripled in price. And during that time, the decline of the US dollar occurred for a number of reasons. It was the country's large budget, as well as trade deficits and a large increase in the money supply. Also, the thing to think about is inflation, because we talk about inflation a lot on the show. About when we like that mint set we were talking about, the mint issue price was $11 to buy it, and it was $18, excuse me, was $18 to buy it in 1989, and 1989. $18 in 1989 due to inflation is $36 today. Well, gold has actually been an excellent hedge against inflation because gold's price rises when the cost of living increases. And that's what a lot of people are complaining about, is that, or not complaining about, but are saying that, you hear people back then saying, with minimum wages back then, I was working on $10 an hour back in, 1980 or 1970 or things like that. Well, really, the inflation and the cost of living really haven't caught up with each other. And that's one of the big things, that if you had, back then bought gold and continued to buy gold, not even going back to the 70s, even if you were to go back to 2007, you go back to 2007 and just put, maybe bought a gold buffalo here and there, by now you would have already tripled your investment. If you would have sold it during high number years, you would have quadrupled your investment. And that's just buying a gold coin here and there. And over the past, if you look at even 50 years, investors have seen gold prices soar and the stock market plunge during high inflation years. And stock market has been going down. Also, a lot of people believe deflation is really what's going on now. Deflation, a period in which prices decrease, business activity slows, the economy starts to become burdened by excessive debt, which really hasn't been seen on a global scale since the Great Depression of the 1930s. But during that time, the purchasing power of gold soared while other prices dropped sharply. And you can already see that right now. I mean, with other investments like stocks and Bitcoin and things like that. Remember, everybody was into Bitcoin and it dropped very sharply. Gold has maintained its value. And that's the thing. There are, if you were an investor for Bear Stearns, I mean, stocks, bonds, financial instruments like that, that can be worth zero one day. Anybody that invested in Bear Stearns knows that it can be worth zero. Gold has never been worth zero. Gold has always been worth something. The price has gone up, the price has gone down, but it has always been worth something. And gold retains its value not only in times of financial uncertainty, but in times of geopolitical uncertainty. It's often called the crisis commodity because people flee to its relative safety when world tensions rise. And during such times, it outperforms almost any other investment. For example, gold prices experienced some major price movements when you saw what happened in the European Union with the United Kingdom wanting to leave the European Union. You saw gold prices soar. Why? Because gold prices rise when confidence in government is low. Also, another thing, you see these gold nuggets and things like that, but much of the supply of gold, actually, the vast majority of it, doesn't come from mines, doesn't come from new mines. Much of the supply of gold, actually since the 90s, has actually come from the sales of gold bullion from the vaults of global central banks. So central banks stockpile gold, countries stockpile gold. Right now, China is stockpiling more gold than any other country. And those central banks sell off gold at times, just like, any buyer and seller of any commodity. The selling by these global central banks has slowed greatly since 2009. And at the same time, production of new gold from mines has been declining since the year 2000. And any time a new mine is found, it can take anywhere from 5 to 10 years to bring that mine into production. Also, speaking of which, when I mentioned that China has been buying up more gold in the market than is even being mined, and has been buying more than most any other country, it's because you also see an increased demand, not just with like a government trying to back their, currency. You also see an increase in wealth of emerging market economies. And emerging market economies have boosted the demand for gold. And in many of these countries, gold is actually even intertwined into their culture. India is actually one of the largest gold-consuming nations in the world. It has many uses there, such as jewelry. And the Indian wedding season is in October, so traditionally that time of year sees a large global demand for gold. China, gold bars are a traditional form of saving, where a lot of people here, they might go take an IRA account or a savings account, maybe get a little stocks. In China, people, they put their savings into gold bars. They buy gold bars as their form of savings, and the demand for gold has been a steadfast. And the demand for gold has grown amongst investors, and many have now seen commodities, particularly gold, as an investment class where funds must be allocated. And if you look at, there's this one company, they're called SPDR Gold Trust. They became one of the largest ETFs in the United States, as well as one of the largest holders of gold bullions, only 4 years after its initial inception. And like I said before, you don't want to put all your money into gold, but it's just about diversification. And diversification in portfolio diversification is finding investments that are not closely correlated to one another. So gold has historically had a negative correlation to stocks and other financial instruments. So, you look at the 70s, right? 70s, great for gold, terrible for stocks. 80s, great for stocks, not great for gold. Late 2000s, you saw a lot of consumers migrate towards gold as stocks dropped substantially, and as of recently, as stocks have dropped substantially, more and more investors are migrating towards gold. Why? Because properly diversified investors combine gold with stocks, bonds, and other financial instruments, real estate, in a portfolio to reduce the overall volatility and risk. Because why? Your stocks, bonds, things like that, or real estate lower in value, typically gold will rise in value. Or just like we were saying, when the US dollar loses value, if you have $1 million, let's just say, and you just have that $1 million in a savings account and you're collecting interest off of it, right? Well, when the value of the US dollar drops, inflation happens, that $1 million is not worth $1 million anymore. But if you had it in gold, you see the gold price rise. And then oftentimes when gold prices rise, you can sell your gold and recoup, any loss in any stocks, bonds, or other financial instruments. So that's why it's, about portfolio diversification. And gold should be an important part of a diversified investment portfolio because its price increases in response to events that cause the value of paper instruments such as stocks and bonds to decline. And although the price of gold can be volatile in the short term, it has always, in its over 3,000-year history, maintained its value in the long term. Heck, you look at other countries, they sailed the seas in search of gold. And through the years, it has served as a hedge against inflation and the erosion of major currencies, and it is well worth considering, especially when we're at this low of a price. I can guarantee you, call up, ask for a gold chain, a gold ring, a gold nugget that is of this weight at $16.49. It cannot be done. Yep, and that's why Sean just made a great point. That's why we have customers that buy 15, 20, 30. We actually had one caller buy 50 of them at one point in time. And that's what I was just talking about earlier. Somebody just called and said I needed 100 grand in just gold buffaloes. So let's go ahead and give this a 60-second clock if we could. And again, all the operators have the information, but that price is only valid for today. Once the coin show is done, I cannot honor the price. But coin show's still on all night, so we'll offer out the price. We will offer out the price while it is on the show tonight. But again, I've seen it happen. I've been doing the coin show for almost 13 years now, and I've seen it before. People see gold go up 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, and they call us up and they say, I want to buy 2, 3, 4 of them. And then I get phone calls if I'm not in the building, and they say, Eric, can we sell them? And I went, no, gold went up 40 bucks today. They're $40 more than they were before. So it'd be $16.89. That is what will happen. And as gold continues to increase, we're at $16.49 today, could be $16.79, $16.89, $16.99, so on and so forth. I'll tell you, I saw my only other competitor that has offered out a pre-sale on a gold buffalo, and they set it at $2,000. So I think $16.49 is a great price indeed, is a incredible price to be able to get in on. Another one going on out the door, thank you very much. And they're taking 2 of them, no problem. And also, Sean, since this is a pre-sale, if they need a couple days, that's fine as well. If you lock in today and you need a couple days, but, we do need to know because that's how many we're based on.
I told the customer there's probably no room, but I got a customer that wants to take 10.
A customer that wants to take 10?
He wants to know if you do any better.
If they take 10, I really don't have any budge room, but I can take $25 off if they take 10.
10 or more.
Yeah, I could take $25 off if they take 10, and that's a bulk discount. That's a bulk discount. There's really not much room from that at $16.49, but $25, and there's 10 of them on out the door. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate you. No problem. No harm in asking. And I appreciate you locking in on 10. And there's 10 out the door. Yeah, so 10 or more. And I'll honor that out for everyone else. I initially wasn't going to, but like I said, it doesn't hurt to ask. Sometimes I don't even think about things like that until somebody, I don't really think about somebody calling in and buying 10 gold buffaloes at once. But when they do, no harm in asking. So 10 or more, I'll take off 25 bucks on 10 or more. And we'll give it one last final 30 and keep moving and grooving.